Launching a four-man podcast tonight, right now, believe it or not. Four, yeah. Four. He's right here. You want to talk to him right there? Hey, Craig, can you tell your guy to let me in?
Please let Dr. Paul up.
He said, please let Dr. Paul up.
Dude, you want to call me? Call me.
Hello, sir.
And you can let him up.
All right.
You connect to my internet.
All right. All right, thank you.
Look for Hero.
We got Angela James on there. Is that somebody watching?
Hero.
He is a
all lowercase.
he's a very brilliant thought leader. Very brilliant thought leader.
Excellent.
Not sure what. People don't know what this is, but I'll start explaining. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul, normally from Men's Psychology, Substack, menspsychology.com, romantopedia.com, Romantopedia Substack. And
You're in the elevator.
I wanted to let you guys know that I am joining three other fathers, and we are starting a new podcast hosted by us with occasional guests, and the name is called The Fourfathers. F-O-U-R, Fathers. The Fourfathers. So I'm knocking at the door here.
Open it up. It's open.
We're not called the Foreskins. That's good.
I hope this is your place, Craig. I'm at 604.
608. 608.
Whoops. Okay.
It's our maiden voice.
Right.
We're allowed to be a little zany.
All right, here we go. All right.
Yeah, the millions of fans
This
are
is
going to.
Jared back there. And I think possibly I should, maybe I could be out there. All right. Yeah, let's see if there's any difficulty. There we go. All right. Well, welcome to Chicago in the background. Here we have our Geraldine says nice looking fathers. Except all we see is your hand. All we see is your hand.
Is this the part of the show where we say talk to the hand?
Talk to the hand. I'm gonna go indoors.
We lost him.
Oh my. All right.
We
lost you, so I have to re-invite you now. All right. Here we go.
Maybe we should have a segment of the show called Talk to the Hand where
talk to the hand.
Where we tell whatever topic to just talk to the hand.
So we'll see if these guys get back on. Did you get a chance to look at the video I sent you for tonight's inaugural topic?
No, I saw one on the last two things you sent. I did just watch the one while I was waiting.
Did you with Richard Reeves on there?
I think so. I think you're talking about well, there's one on male and female shopping habits, and then you had another one on another topic of mating behaviors. I mean,
well, this is Diary of a CEO. Have you ever seen Diary of a CEO?
I think I did.
Okay.
I would like to see it, but you can refresh me on the topic.
Okay, you're on there. Somebody's on there. It's just black.
No, they're there.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, there's Jared. There's Jared right there. Do you want me to re-invite you too? Oh, okay. All right, I'll re-invite you.
If Jared
gets all four of us.
Are we allowed to be funny on this show, or are we supposed to be boring?
We are, but no, we can't be like X-rated because this ports to YouTube.
I know. Well, if Jared has
I think it's a good start. Here, take it.
I think if Jared if Jared can go like this, am I allowed to go like this? We're not allowed to be funny. Let's just keep it really dry and boring, please. Okay. With YouTube. Okay, Geraldine says yes. Give us a smiley emoji if you want humor. Geraldine. You see, yeah, I think Geraldine's on our side. I think Geraldine's there she is. Bring it on! Wait, we know Geraldine from before. I know Geraldine. Hi, Geraldine. She's been on our pre-maiden voyage. Doc, you're on mute, Doc, somehow.
Try not to turn it off this time.
That's I turn it to the side.
Guys, put your phone on
All right.
Just put it down and then sit. Yeah.
And here we go. Geraldine says, hi, honey.
Hi, honey.
All right, you guys, we're going to figure this out. I'm not sure if Substack only allows 3 guests at one time. It kind of looks like that, sort of. But maybe
it's like 3 screens, and that as people talk, it interchanges, but it doesn't allow 4 separate screens on the phone.
I'm hoping that's the way it is. But I promised everybody just the name of the podcast, just the name of this post. And the post just says, introducing the Fourfathers. F-O-U-R. F-O-U-R, fathers. And we are four fathers. And this is our new podcast. This is our inaugural podcast. And we are going to comment on social issues, movies, dating, relationships, men and women, what's going on in our culture and various other topics as well.
It's not necessarily about fatherhood, though, right? It's about everything.
It's about everything. No, it's the opinion of fathers. Yeah. Wouldn't you like 4 fathers? Some people have no fathers. Wouldn't you like to have 4 fathers?
Like 8 Egyptian uncles, does that count? They were like my fathers.
I think the emphasis is that it's four people that have the experience of being a dad and having a little bit, I think
perspective
in life to have had that experience.
Yeah, perspective.
We're different types of people, but we're all the same. And I think it's a great idea. It's going to be fun. I think what we need to do, though, is have the discussion led by Dr. Paul. And then next time, I don't know, but if we get GoPros and we mount them up so we can have more. And I don't know if we find out if Substack is only allows 4 screens, but it'd be nice to somehow get a broader view of all of us talking versus me and Craig cuddling up with each other.
Yeah.
But,
I kind of like that.
You're man enough to handle it.
Just
you're man enough to handle
enough
it.
For Craig.
I think you guys.
Ramsey, anyways, just so you know, it's nice to see you, Ramsey. And you're beautiful. You're a wonderful daughter that loves to make me cry. Is out there playing her instruments in California. It's pretty cool.
I know. She just had the gig. It was great. What? I know. I'm so thrilled. I'm thrilled. Yes, I'm on a dad mission today. So
why don't we talk just a bit about our differences in terms of being fathers? For example, I have a 10-year-old son, and that's my role as a father is just to him. Jared, I believe you have a daughter, so that's interesting. And she's of maybe a similar age, maybe younger. Oh, 18. Wow, man. How old are you, dude? Wow. You look like you're 23 in this video. Craig, you have
this is actually it de-ages you.
It de-ages you. And Craig, you have adult children.
I do.
Which is really, really cool. So you bring that perspective. I mean, that's coming for me eventually. And Ramsey, you have some kind of youngsters, but kind of tweenish.
15, 17, 18, and 22.
Which would make me the furthest forefather.
It would make you the most advanced forefather, I think.
He's the elder statesman. Yeah. He's the elder statesman of the group.
So that makes you kind of Ben Franklin in a way, except you still have your hair.
That's awesome. Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I got to tell you guys, Geraldine's writing in. She says, my granddaughter is 18. I am aged. Part of why we came up with this idea, guys, is that some of you know about my personality style typing system, that there are like perfect combinations in terms of groups of people and in terms of couples. And I just happened to notice that these 3 friends of mine have complementary personalities with each other and with my own to make like just a perfect group of 4. And then I thought about the name, Fourfathers. And I was like, oh, that's like the forefathers of a nation, or the forefathers, kind of a little bit mockery of the concept of patriarchy.
Yeah, so we came up with the idea of us happen to be 4 fathers. And so we are called the Fourfathers, Fourfathers, the Fourfathers. And we're going to comment on various issues, probably weekly, maybe more often in some cases.
Yep.
Jared, I like your youngifying elixir that you have there. It's very clever.
Yeah, your drink.
And your drink. So,
elixir.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and what your MO is as a father? What has your experience been like as a father?
Well, who's going to go first?
I think you, Ramsey.
Well, I'm the most unorthodox.
Uncomfortable. He's a little too close to Jared.
Craig is the most super daddish, and I'm the most unorthodox. But I will go first if that's the case, just to make you guys look better. But the thing is, I've had my oldest daughter. I was married about 20 years ago. It didn't last too long, but my oldest daughter is the most amazing kid you could ever have. She's here in Santa Barbara, where I'm at, and was married for a little while to her mom. There's a whole story there, but I'm not going to go into depth. But other than that, then I have 2 others with a woman out of Chicago that's a lawyer who is I guess I'll just throw a little controversy out there, but what we call a serial breeder.
Oh, why
Okay.
don't we not do that if she's a lawyer?
No, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a term that I made up when I realized what her MO was. But everything's great. The one youngest has got into Brown full scholarship at age 16. The middle is going to Florida, Tallahassee, and my oldest is out here in Santa Barbara, full ride also. So, I mean, it's been a journey. I'm kind of through the hard part, and now it's the enjoyment part. So that's all. I'll keep it.
So 2 of your girls have full scholarships to university?
Yeah. One got into Brown at age 16. She's Mensa. She's off the charts, but I give the mom most of the credit. I take a small bit. And then the other one got in UC Santa Barbara and got a full scholarship to based on her first 2 years' grades, and so it's great.
In the spirit of full disclosure, I told my son that I was doing this today, and he said, "I'm just curious, how did Ramsey ever get into Michigan?"
Well, believe it or not.
And I said, I'm pretty confident that his father built a wing or 2 out there in Ann Arbor.
Well, that or a couple buildings here and there. No, I really got it in, believe it or not. But, we're all motivated by different things. Doesn't mean we don't have what it takes.
I have a little theory about intelligence I'll throw out. I mean, it's very simplistic, but it's also true in terms of neuroscience. If our brains have dual processing systems, one is left brain, one is right brain, and we had access to both left brain and right brain abilities, that would be genius.
I think for fun, my comment on Ramsey, he's the luckiest of all of us because he's got 3. Is in terms of quantity, as far as quality, it's tough. Craig, I would say, obviously wins, and I don't even know Craig in depth through all the years, but I know that he was a man of the house and raised the family and did his job. But I'll go second to Ramsey. I've had 1 kid, and she's the light of my world, and she's turning 18. And we had, I won't even say it because I would never want to get back to her, but I was married and her mom was nuts. I have no problem saying it. At the time, she was nuts. Thought she was going to be an actress. And she wanted to move out to California, a lot of crazy stuff, kind of social media influence. And the likes got her thinking in a different way that wasn't connected. And reality came into play and ultimately deteriorated us. And we got divorced when my daughter was like 6, 7. And I've been hanging on to 50-50 or more custody of her, irrespective of the cost of that, whatever it took. But I've had a blast being a dad until now. And every single second's just like a gift. And now she's going to go to Michigan State in a few months, like August, September. Buckle up. So maybe I get another kid somehow in the future with some girl that we can talk about how we interact with girls on this podcast, whatever.
Yeah, we can.
Or I don't get another kid and whatever, and I get grandkids in the future, or I don't get anything. Whatever I think, whatever the guy above wants for me is going to happen. But we'll see what happens. But I'm grateful for what I have, for sure. Being a dad is the biggest gift I've ever been given.
I hope you get to have kids the same age as grandkids.
Yeah,
I think that would be quite interesting. We could do a study.
That would be wild.
I might.
Yeah. Okay, now Craig, and then you, Dr. Paul.
Okay.
I have a daughter who just turned 24 and a son who's turning 20. Greatest job I've ever had in my life is being a dad. When all you want to do is have an altruistic standpoint in your life, give your kids more than you ever had. I think that underscores the joy of being a dad. I've made my kids laugh. I've made my kids cry. I've made them proud. I've embarrassed them. That's called family. And I did have the joy of raising my kids all the way through college, and now they both live on their own. They're not quite off the payroll. I don't know if the kids ever leave the payroll.
Right.
But they continue to come to me for advice, and hopefully I continue to enrich their lives.
There you go.
Well, thank you.
And we'll say this. I think a pertinent point of Craig is he was married 25 years, which is the world record amongst us so far. So.
28. Mine was
28. That's very respectable.
Wow, that's a long time, Craig.
Yeah, that's significant to this show. I mean, just
and I'm not married anymore, but I married a wonderful, wonderful lady, and she's still very wonderful. We're just living on our own now.
There you go.
All right.
Doctor?
Well, someone named Ms. James says, "What jobs are you guys talking about? Can any of you explain it? Give me." Not sure what exactly that means. We're talking about the job of being a dad, being a parent.
It's metaphoric is what it is.
And it's no discredit to mothers, because that job is
that job is harder. Yeah.
Not at all. I mean, well, I think they're equally hard. I don't think they can really be compared.
How would you know? You've never been a mother.
Neither one of
Yeah.
us.
No, but I've watched one. Actually, I've watched more than one.
I mean, you are a mother, but
He's a mother trucker.
Well,
He's a mother trucker.
I mean, you get me into a concept that I have to deal with often, which is if I went to get some neurosurgery, would I mind if I had a lady neurosurgeon? Not at all. Not at all. So can I comment on mothers, given that I've seen and treated probably 20, 30, 40,000 of them?
Yeah, you should have an opinion.
I think I can.
Yeah.
So it's just different. It's a different perspective.
Oh, it's different. It's different. I mean, you can look at the birds in the trees and notice the difference between those two birds, the guy and the woman. You can look at deer in the forest. You can look at bear. You can look at fish. There's a difference, okay? And there's no more need to be said than there's obviously a difference. You can look at their bodies side by side, and no one goes into the other.
Birds and bees? There's a difference between birds and bees. All right.
And birds and birds. And birds and birds. He meant boy bird, girl bird. Yeah.
I guess my perspective is I have I'm the newbie to the group in terms of child. I have a son. He's younger than all of your children. I love it. I think it's incredible to see. I've watched him every day for his 10 years. He's brilliant. He's got parts of me in him, parts of his mom in him. Luckily, he looks like her and not like me. I'm glad about that. But he thinks like me in a lot of ways. He's really, really a smart guy. And when he grows up, he wants to be a physician chef. He wants to travel the world as a physician and a chef.
Hey, that's better than...
I don't know how you do that exactly.
Does he also want to be president?
Sure, yeah. Of course, yeah. And he wants to be an NFL quarterback too, Craig.
Yeah.
Craig, you should do that though. You should become a physician. You're a physician, a psychiatrist. You should also become like a chef. And you should become a restaurant owner and engage in deep conversations with your customers.
I've thought of that.
If that's what your son's alluding to, that'd be pretty freaking cool.
That is cool. That's a different Substack channel of mine called Dinneresting. Dining with interesting people. But it's not very advanced, not very launched yet. Geraldine says it's labor. All labor is equal. Wow, but well said, Geraldine. Because it's labor. All labor is equal.
So you gave us an assignment to watch that video, Dr. Paul.
I did. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched some of it. It basically had to do with what life is as a man in the year of 2025. It had to do with how we go about being friends with guys, whether it's a good or a bad thing on the incline or decline, how it is about dating, how it is about being just a guy in general in this landscape where there's a lot of what otherwise is considered as foreign thinking in previous years from, say, like, as far as we can record back in history to present, like it's been changing a lot in the last, say, 20 years, as far as whatever. But I think that's what that guy's dissecting.
It is. The actual podcast was the Diary of the CEO, and I could include a clip, or not a clip, I can include the link to the entire podcast on this post. But Diary of a CEO is about all kinds of topics, but most recently it's tended to focus on the differences between men and women and them not getting along and what's going on in society, what's going on with what is social media doing to people's minds. It's been getting more and more psychological. And the host had Richard Reeves on, who wrote a book called Boys and Men. And Richard Reeves is kind of a sociology policy wonk person. He's not a psychologist or a doctor, but he's kind of like a consultant, expert on whatever he deeply studies. He's kind of like a think tank guy. And his book is interesting because it quotes a lot of statistics about what's happened in the last 10, 20, 30 years about boys and men. Craig, would you like to share?
What's that?
Would you like to share something?
No, I'm sorry. We should. That's the thing, is we need to have a camera on all of us in one room.
Well,
yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
What he's at.
Sure, like that's what.
Well, whoever's got the mic, just listen and don't talk.
You're right. We won't do that.
Wait your turn. Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
Oh, no, I disagree with you. Ripping on your friends, that's half the fucking fun of this.
Well, we're gonna get riffing. This is just the warm-up. We're trying to fake that we're civilized.
From moment one, Craig, does it have to be the first episode that you start ripping?
No,
we're ripping.
You're gonna have fun with.
That's right. So we're gonna. This is our dignified.
Mr. Paul, why did you assemble the four of us? You've got other friends. You've got other people.
Yeah,
why us?
Good question. Yeah, good question.
He didn't go through the definition of all of them.
Yeah, the archetypes.
That'd be a good.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a
why
good
not?
framework.
And I'll help you along, even though I never went to medical school. That's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm cool with that too. I would never let you operate on me, but yeah. All right.
I've operated on you.
Yeah. Leave the proctology out of it. Okay, keep going. Doctor, and what's the type? But
Why use specific guys? Why use specific guys? Number one,
Yeah.
you're good people and you're my friends. That's number one. Number two, we always seem to have an opinion about each other's situations that we get in, and we have advice for each other. And I think it's because we're kind of a diverse team of friends. We all have had very different experiences in life, different professions, different ages of our kids, different relationship experiences. But then finally, why just you guys and not my 50 other friends? Because I believe that there's such a thing as balance on a team that works together in terms of personality. And it might have been long ago that companies used the Myers-Briggs to type people into the right roles. Should you work for HR or finance, or should you be the CEO, or should you be a frontline worker?
Yeah, those are the same people that wrote astrology summaries.
Yeah, that's kind of like astrology. However, one thing that
ambiguous enough, everyone will believe it.
Okay, I could cede the stage to you, Craig.
What's that?
But never mind.
So, what about the archetypes?
What?
I could cede the stage to you, Craig.
No, I apologize for interrupting.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Paul.
All right, no.
All right,
you'll get your time. You'll get. Yeah, I am subtle. You'll get your time to shine. The idea, though, is in the social personality style system that I developed, there are just two kinds of variable. There's the intellect and the emotions. And the intellect divides into a spectrum running between left brain and right brain. And the emotional runs from a spectrum running from more maternal and kind and nurturing, that would be me and Jared, all the way up to more hard driving, goal seeking, and kind of cutthroat even. That would be you and Ramsey, Craig.
Opposite, but I appreciate that I'm on the right.
Interesting. I think Jared's more nurturing than I am.
Yeah, I think Jared's more nurturing. Yeah.
I think Ramsey's the nicest of all of us.
I would agree with that.
I would agree. The movie.
I was in a movie.
Cried in a movie. We cried in a movie.
In the movie, yeah.
Cried.
Probably in the past week.
Really?
Field of Dreams for the 900th time. Bawled my eyes out.
What?
You know why?
What movie?
My father, and it made me think of my son.
A movie? What movie? Field of Baseball.
Do you have footage of that? Because I would appreciate that.
I got news for you guys. We're going to take away your man cards just for admitting that in public, okay? Your man cards are being revoked. Sorry. I'm kidding. Come on, it's a joke. All right. Doctor, what are the archetypes? What are the archetypes?
So what is having two variables, having an intellectual style and having an emotional style? It divides a circle into 4 quadrants. So those 4 quadrants I call the king or queen, the warrior, the magician, and the lover. And I'm the more nurturing left brain type. So I'm a king. Ramsey, you're my opposite. You're more right-brained and confident, outgoing, action-taking. So you're right-brained and confident, more paternal and confident.
Well, you call me the magician, I thought. There's a magician, king.
You're a magician.
Yeah, you got to get those 4 tags. They're archetypal, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm a king, you're a magician. Craig is similar to you emotionally. He's also outgoing and confident and at times very sarcastic. And he's a warrior. Just look at the stare. He's just staring right now like a warrior. Like he's trying to size me up, like what he's going to do to me when we're done with this. And then Jared is a lover. And that means he's right-brained like Ramsey, but he's nurturing like me.
Are you saying that I'm not nurturing?
No,
Craig,
I'm saying you're gifted at being tough and hardcore when you have to be in ways that the rest of us, are a little more challenged with.
You're out of town this weekend, and I know how to get inside your place.
Can you see?
So do you guys have any topics that you could see us covering in the future? I could see us covering movies, news stories, probably not politics. But by the way, politically, I don't want to say who does what or who likes what, but I think we are equally balanced as kind of average moderates. If you averaged all four of us, it would be the ideal moderate person.
I don't think so. I think I'm so far out in one direction, it's impossible to reel me in.
That's not what I meant. That's not what
I
I
don't
meant,
think so.
Jared.
I
Talking
don't think.
about what's called a bell curve, averages. Averages
Yeah,
are
you
much
get canceled
more.
out by Craig. You get canceled out by Craig,
Yeah,
and
Craig and you are exactly opposite in like
But I
every
think Craig and I,
possible
of
way.
all this group, are the most similar in respect to like family values and stuff like that, and kids and whatnot. Not that we all aren't the same, but
yeah.
yeah, interesting.
Well, I think a topic, and if I may interject, one thing that's come up lately, I've been out in LA, and I've been newly single for the last year. But what I think, there's a topic of, well, after a 4-year relationship a year ago, ended a year ago. But what I'm finding with the females that I'm meeting in the some of the dating sites is they're looking for masculine energy. And I think a good topic is that there's this red sweep going on, which we're not going to talk about, other than in the topic of being a man, being a father, and being is that women are looking for the masculine energy again. And this administration is giving us the ability to be masculine again and kind of bring and that's, one of our friends has another show. It's a funny show about,
I don't know if you're allowed to say that exactly like that. Talking about
Now I
cashews.
know. Now I know.
Cashews and pistachios.
Now I know why you called me the warrior. All right, Ramsey, you want me to believe that our current political administration is the reason why masculinity has been brought back?
No. What I'm saying is there's a swing from the left to the right, and it's not political. This is the world we're in now.
You use the word administration.
What's that?
You use the words this administration.
Yes, I'm saying something went so far one way that it's now swung the other way, and the other way represents more alpha energy, more aggressive, more. You're allowed to be a man again. It's make yourself a man again, okay? And it's not a bad thing. It's kind of good. It's better than.
Craig, I think I can speak for Ramsey when I say he takes it back.
Yeah.
What?
I take it back.
He takes it back.
No, he doesn't take it. No, it's just
No, I know he doesn't.
It's a ego thing, and it's reality. It's the fact that I understand where Craig comes from. That it doesn't make sense for the big mouth screaming in mannerisms. That's not who we want to look like. We want to look like both like a Trojan and a well-spoken man. And we have somebody who's
and
our idea of what the man energy is.
What do you mean by Trojan? Are you
like a gladiator
wearing a speedo? Wearing a speedo and
no.
Covering your chest with oil?
Let me tell you this, all right? Here's who doesn't want an overbearing man in their life. Your daughter.
Joe,
Your daughters don't want an overbearing, hard-fisted male. They want a supportive, loving, nurturing father who will be there to be there 24/7, whatever they need, to offer support, to offer advice. And you know what? If you're the kind of dad that subscribes to that, in my opinion, that's part of the joy of being a dad. Because you're not doing it because you have to or because you think you're supposed to. You do it because you want to.
Well, yeah, and what I was referring to too is the idea that women want. I mean, even in a bar, I was in a bar the other night. This 23-year-old girl, we were just talking, and she was very cute, but she somehow even brought it right up to me, like, I want masculine energy, and I was like, yeah, well, and that's kind of why she was talking to me. She was kind of giving me a compliment and saying how she was getting sick of the LA soy boy scene. And she's like 23 years old, like as old as my daughter. And I was like, okay, it was just a conversation. But she was saying this to me, and I'm like, it's on. And people put it on like Bumble on their postings, like, I'm the woman, you're the man. Like they're just sick of. They're just coming back to
politics.
Yeah.
Just look at any culture, any country you go to, anywhere from China to India to Africa to Europe to United States. Indian time frame of the United States, Latin America. There's like statues oftentimes of not women that are pioneering with, bow and arrows or guns or whatever. There's men. And that was lost for a period of time. But, it's currently resurging itself again. Probably because a lot of men were just shocked for a while. They're like, what's happening to us? then over time, they started keep talking like, "Are you on a team? Are you team man or team woman?" And now it's like evident. And now when you see girls, like you don't even have to say anything. You just have to stand there. I don't say anything anymore. I just literally stand there and say, "How are you doing?" And the next thing you know, they're talking to you like they won't stop. And in the past, you would have to try because you were just so confused. And now that we've had time to sort things out, it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, they brought it too far to the other side. I mean, things swing, you know, in culture. They swing to the left and the right. It's not political. It's about, you know, they wanted us to be more sensitive, sensitive new age guys and all this stuff. And then it got to the line of, and this is where it gets a little political, nothing against anything. But, you know, they're trying to pitch, you know, things that are very fringe. And I don't know how to say this without, my daughter would probably kick my ass, but we went so far where they were, I call it, what broke America's back, the transsexual. Like, they're trying to make I know this is not political. It's just like, to me, that's where people drew the line and said, look, it's like, it's fine to have your rights and everything, but like, people got just so far to the other side where they're like, wait a minute, you know, now they're on my sports team playing against my daughter, and it's not political. This is about our daughters.
My daughter specifically, Rams, you know, she played against a trainer.
Oh, right. And so
and I got in trouble for it, you know.
Well, I know. And so now here's the thing. This is where reality and biology, and the reason we're all here is because a man and a woman, okay? Now, This is what drives the planet. This is what drives the planet, and this is not going away. This is why we're here. So, like, when you take this thing and you skew it too far with too small of a niche of a topic, and then you try to make the topic the mainstream, people snap out of it. They're like, why is this person, you know, playing against my daughter? Why is this person here in the middle of this? It just went too far. And now we're here to say, look, okay, fine. Nothing against these people. My opinion is, it may be controversial, that it's a hormonal problem. It's like a chemical body problem. And then maybe a small percentage.
Well, I'm not sure we're allowed to say, you know,
Okay.
This is where I'd like to make the public service announcement. The opinions expressed herein are not necessarily those of Dr. Paul.
Okay. And
I think it's my job as a king to pull in the magician. All right, Geraldine, our super fan,
yes,
just wrote us all. She said, "What turns the forefathers on in a woman? What turns the forefathers on
Submission.
In a woman?
Wow.
What? Submission?
Well, good.
Once in a while.
I think we all have different opinions, and we're gonna keep it clean, but you know, we're gonna leave Craig's cross-dressing habit to the side, but we're not talking about that in this show, okay? We're talking about come on. My answer is very simple: intelligence, humor, and sexuality. And not meaning being hot, but like beauty's up there always, okay? But intelligence and humor and desire to be connected. Put it that way.
How old were you when you decided to start liking women instead of men?
Well, you know, when I came out of the womb, day one.
I have the strongest amount of energy towards women. I already know I wish it was me, but it's not. And I don't have interest in men. I'm not saying that, but like,
who has the strongest amount of energy toward women?
I think it's Ramsey.
Yeah.
I think it's me.
It's Ramsey.
I think it's me.
And
it's true.
It's weird because I have friends like that are just so determined on women. I mean, I'm determined about. Now, I'm not no disrespect about women, but I'm determined about success professionally somehow or another. Success as being. I'm trying to balance all these things out, but I'm not like. I have friends that are just like nonstop every day, like porn, ball, women.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I kind of wish I had that. I just wonder where it comes from.
So, Jared, could you rephrase your question?
Well, I haven't asked a Greg.
Which of your friends are most obsessive about women, or which are most driven to meet women?
Or
that's a good differential. I don't know.
Closing ratio, or just the biggest sluts. Are we allowed to say sluts?
Yeah, I think so.
Man sluts? Well, me. But
I'll tell you a list of words you're allowed to use. Womb, probably uterus. I don't know about sluts. Yeah, you can probably use that if it's referring to gender-neutral males or females.
But yeah, I mean, you can be a slutty guy and you can be a slutty girl, you know, and like, being slutty is, I don't know, I think it's a game, you know, it's like a short-term game. I don't think you're a long-term winner when you be a slut all the time. I don't want to be one.
Evelyn, come here. Oh my God, my daughter's walking by from her gig.
Oh wow.
This is evidence. This is real evidence of a show of my daughter.
Why don't you get out of the car and let her in your seat?
I know. Wait, look. This is my real daughter.
No
Look at
way.
the other gig. She just played. Show them that you got your guitar in your back. Look at her. This is real.
She just had a gig?
Yes, that's why I'm out here. I saw the whole thing. All right.
Wow.
Bye. Yeah, that's the amazing. That's the best thing of my life right there. Look at her. She's like Bon Jovi with a 6-string on my back. Okay.
Oh, that is awesome. Give us a little color commentary to that. People out there don't know that you were/are a rock star, that you were on TV, won a contest, and appeared on MTV, your band, back in the day.
It was fun. Yeah, back in the real days. Well, I tell the kids, back when the M stood for music on MTV, yeah, back in the late 80s.
And sheep were nervous?
That's right, exactly. My band won the college band search for the whole country. And then we were on MTV. It was like spring break, Daytona, and all that. And it was a blast. I'll admit it. I will not complain. We were on MTV, like in between like a Duran Duran video and a Michael Jackson video and Aha and Billy Idol, like the glory days of MTV. They were rotating this clip for us in spring break. And it was more fun than most people should be allowed to have.
I remember you on the other channel too.
We were on MTV. It was we were on there like with like all those big bands, and it was wild. It was cool. We had a lot of fun.
To see that video.
There's a clip from the contest at spring break. Yeah, it's out there on YouTube somewhere. We gotta find it.
Oh yeah.
But it was all the Wayback Machine. It was in the Wayback Machine. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. So I mean, whatever. Rockstar. Yeah, I just rock in whatever I do. Rockstar is a thing you do with whatever you do. You can be a rockstar doctor. You can be a rockstar landlord. You can be a rockstar. You know, anything. It's about an attitude of how you do something. And it does involve a little bit of being a renegade or a maverick. If you disrupt and change the game, anything I've ever done, it's about changing the game in some way for the better and trying to disrupt it enough to be part of the good side of evolution. So to me, that's rock and roll. Whether it's your Steve Jobs or your Bono or your, a doctor like that's blowing the lid out of old paradigms and bringing us to the future, that's to me rock and roll. It doesn't matter what you do. So we can all be rock stars at whatever we do, but you just got to have the steel. And you have to be willing to take risks and break some rules, bend some rules. Everything evolves by bending and breaking rules and then coming back and figuring it out at the next level.
I don't think you're allowed to say that B word, but I think you're allowed to say bullocks.
Bollocks of steel?
Yeah. I think you're allowed to say that.
Okay, bollocks of steel or nuts of steel. Okay, whatever it is. Squirrel. All right. So anyway, that's my take on anything we do. We all can break that.
Dr. Paul, move us on to another subject.
Geraldine wants to know, Ramsey, were you glam?
No glam. We were like U2 meets Duran Duran meets InXS.
Wow.
Meets United Colors of Benetton. No, I might have. Yeah, I had long hair. Down the back.
Long hair?
Oh yeah, down to my back.
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, I'll show you. We'll get in the time machine another time. But yeah, it was.
Find that video.
I know I have. Oh man. So yeah, but anyway, I think the topic is, we got to evolve. That's why we're here on the show. We're here to evolve the norms and the paradigms of how we operate as men and share the experience with women and men and talk about it because it's all evolving every day. And now it's like important to flesh this stuff out and get the different perspectives. And I'm on this college campus right now, UC Santa Barbara, one of the most, open-minded liberal places, and where this is where like the ideas come from. But it's interesting to see because this generation is so, in some ways, the world they live in is so different than what we grew up with at this age. But it was like, they're like fearful of the world the adults are leaving them. They're like confused. They don't even know which way to step, I don't think, and they're looking for the answers, and they're all, I think that their whole generation grew up with like this COVID thing, and then the stuff that's going on now, the extremities of politics. There's no stability for them, and the planetary stuff, everything. There's this general, I think they've not found their new voice yet. Like this generation hasn't found their mission, but I think that they need clarity and stability. And in some ways, the world we live in now is less stable than it's ever been, even in our lifetime. Like exactly now, but
There can be probably quite a bit of nihilism out there at their age, given all the troubles in the world. Well, one thing I wonder if we could do this. The video with the Diary of a CEO interviewing Richard Reeves, who wrote Of Boys and Men.
The stability is family, yes.
Is so profound and addresses a lot of what we enjoy talking about normally. And that we could all comment on. I think we ought to all watch that for next time, and then we could talk about it next time. Because he addresses some of these things you're talking about, all these changes in the world and how it affected this generation, this up and coming generation.
Yeah.
I need to watch it. About you guys that I think we're all similar in terms of being fathers, being dads, is that I think we all would be perfectly fine with whatever our children grow up to become. Like I won't demand my son become a doctor, although if he wants to, he easily could. He's just that bright and can't all come from me. And I'm sure it's the same with you guys. But Ramsey, I noticed your daughter is kind of a rock star like you, but I believe you gave her, free reign to become whatever she's meant to become.
Yes. Yeah, that's what's so cool about it, is that she was really raised in a recording studio, which is my house, which is, you guys have all seen it. Maybe we do one of the shows there next time, whatever. You'll see it. But it was a musical place. Been there 33 years now in downtown Chicago, still there. But she was raised there, but I never pushed it too much. And she kind of came into music indirectly. And, I taught her how to have melody and how to have, notes and, as a baby. And then I tried to throw on the guitar a little bit. Had a little pink guitars, a little baby kid guitar was cute. But she became this, not necessarily, I was never hey, you got to learn guitar. I didn't even tell her to do it. She came to it when she was about 14, 15 and said, Dad, I think it's time. I'm like, time for what? And she's like, it's time for me to learn guitar. And I'm like, really? I'm like, don't play me. Don't mess with me, because if you want to do it, we'll do it. And she had been in violin in second grade, which is littler, and knew how to play. And she could play by ear when she was in violin. She was the first chair replacing the 8th grader. And they were like, Mr. Gooda, your daughter's the best thing we got. She's going to be the top violinist. But we have one problem. And I'm like, what's the problem? They're like, well, she's looking at the page and faking like she's reading, but she's playing it all by ear on the fly. And I was like, yes. It was like, that means it's in here. That means it's a language embedded in her brain. She doesn't even need the paper. She can hear it and play it. So that was like, they're like, we got to get her on the page. And I'm like, okay, we'll try. But, so that was one of the best moments of my life. But she didn't like being on the paper. So she played a little bit, then she stopped. And then later it got into guitar, and then it just took off on its own. And I really taught her about 10 chords, and then she just ran with it.
Wow.
And it was great. And now she's got her own band, and they're called Magnetize, and they're on Spotify, and they're brilliant. So it's really cool to watch. So yeah, but it came on its own. I never was like a.
No, that's amazing though. It kind of shows your energy though, Randy. My daughter, same thing. Similarly, as you say that, not to reflect on myself. I think I love Ellen. I love what she does. I love that I've listened to her play. And your intelligence, not paper, but using her mind as a language. You can't make a better her natural gift, which is maybe whether it's a DNA thing inside of her or energy view, however that scientifically works. But my daughter thinks just like me, and I never pushed anything on her. I'm just like, please, her mom was totally different. I'm like, think like your mom, think like me, think however you want. And now she's going to Michigan. She wants to go to school for the same thing I went to school.
Oh, wow, that's cool. To your school too.
It's weird how
proctology
a child or a daughter would follow the dad. Because a lot of times they go the opposite. A lot of times bad. Dad watch for fun out of politics. Dad watches Fox News. Don't watch Fox News.
Yes.
Normally that's how it works.
I think that that's a reflection of us as parents, if we're on that topic. I mean, I think in a lot of ways, if you push too much, they go the opposite. And it shows the result speaks for itself. If they follow in your footsteps, that means
it comes into loving your daughter for whoever she is.
Yes, you've done something.
Your kids. So I had a little bit of a different path. My kids, I didn't necessarily want them to do anything other than follow their passion.
Yes.
And when they were little and starting to go through high school and into college, and they're asking, about what do you want to do when you grow up? My advice to them basically was, I don't really care what you do. I want it to be legal. I want it to be ethically sound and morally important. but follow your passion, whatever that is. And if you happen to make money, great. But if you don't follow your passion and what you want to do, you're just going to be miserable. I have friends of mine that make a ton of money. They're miserable. But the ones that follow their passion, doesn't matter how much money they make, they're happy as all hell. And that's the difference. You follow what
That is right.
And I think that's just something that you talk about perspective of a parent, the perspective of a father. I think that's pretty solid advice. And quite frankly, you know, I was raised by my mom. I wasn't raised by my dad. My dad didn't live with me. And my mom did what she had to do, not what she wanted to do. And she wasn't passionate about having to do things that she had to do. You know, it's
right.
There's a difference between need and want. And I'd much rather follow the world of wants because that goes hand in hand with passion. And I think that's a path to happiness, not because someone's got their foot in your back and they're making you do something.
Yes, and it's a luxury that you're lucky if you can afford to be passionate or have the opportunity to be passionate, keep the passion in your life, and that's for me something I'm well aware of because I still have it with music and the things I do with my startup and all that. But having that privilege of having a passion, some people don't have it. They're forced, or it's some socioeconomic.
I disagree with you. What I'm trying to say is this. Sometimes maybe you make a choice to have economically a more modest lifestyle because you follow something that is important to you and it's meaningful. And you might not ring the bell financially, but you certainly could be happier because that's right. More important to you than being economically happy.
Well, and that is the path I have chosen. You're right. That's what I'm saying. We agree on that because I could have gone and tried to make a bunch of money and been like, well, I have a saying in life, if I were a greedy person, I would have been rich by now. So I've never been driven by the money, but I've always been driven by the being happy and having a life that I feel like is right for me. And yeah, if we could teach that to our kids and whatever the trade-offs are along the way and give them a sense of security with it, I think that's the best thing you can give a kid is a sense of stability and unconditional love with balance and helps if you're financially somewhat stable.
That's the biggest thing to me. Even for boys, I don't know. I've never had a boy, but even my nephew, I love them.
It's very important. Yeah. So I just realized I'm the only one here that has a boy and a girl.
Yep.
Dr. Paul has a boy. He doesn't have a girl.
I don't have a girl. I almost had a girl.
You both.
Quite, yeah.
I see no difference in unconditional love for either of my kids. It's the same.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah. So, I think it'd be tough it's tough being a girl, I think, in this day and age with all the emphasis. With all the social media and the imagery and
you can't ask for a harder life to be a female.
Oh my God! Right now, yeah, the world with all the visual, the Instagram and all this stuff, it's just all OnlyFans, and it's like, how do you sort through all that? Where it's like, the difference between men and women and the things we pursue is, it's always been this way, but now it's even more apparent. But like women, their looks are like such a bigger deal now than it ever was, unfortunately. But men.
Podcast should be about is the sadness of the girls and what they have to deal with.
Yeah, no, I'm sad for my daughters having to look around and be like, God, look at what's out there. I mean, am I allowed to say Instagram?
I don't know about that, but Ramsey, I just searched online for buying domains, and I'm such a sad girl.com is available if you want it.
I don't want it.
No?
I'm saying it would be horrible to be. I mean, here's my joke. Think if we were having to compete the way they are on Instagram, okay? It'd be like we had to be swinging our schlongs around and putting them over our shoulder.
I'm not allowed to say that.
Oh, I can't say schlong.
You're talking about some kind of lunch meat.
Oh, we'd have to have
from Trader Joe's. I did hear of Trader Joe's offering that now.
Well, you know how bad it would be for us? You know how bad it would be if we had to do what they do on Instagram? Like, hey, like, here's my kielbasa. Look at my leopard G-string. Look at me. I mean, it's like basically porn with thongs. It's like, wouldn't that suck? That would be horrible. If we were hey guys, mine's bigger than yours. Like, I mean, these girls are going, it's crazy. So distorted.
Do you think you're a decent man?
Yes, I do.
How decent of a woman do you think you'd be?
A decent? I mean, what is decent meaning? Sexually, morally, or just decent person?
What I'm asking you is, I think I'd be the world's worst woman I'd be a terrible woman.
Yeah, I don't really understand the question in some ways.
I think he means if you were born female, you would have become a cheerleader for high school. You would have. I envision you as a high school cheerleader. if you would become female.
Really? I believe that. I mean, I'm a showman. I'm a rock and roller, but I also have stuff to back it up. The point is, that's an interesting question. I might be the class slut. I don't know. And if I had the looks of a cheerleader, maybe I would be. But so much of it.
My comment is really out of respect for women. I couldn't do what they do.
Oh wait, I'm sorry.
I think I'd be awful at it. To put up with all the crap that girls have to put up hanging out with guys, I wouldn't want it.
Difficult, no.
I couldn't do. I wouldn't want to do it. It's a comment about respect for women. I have so much respect. The fact that they could tolerate people like us, I can't even tolerate people like us. And if I were a woman, I'd have to have a different perspective of tolerance.
Dr. Paul, I'll tell you one other thing though too. As Craig and I are sitting out here, I have a very low tolerance for cold, and it's getting colder by the minute.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
so we either got to come inside or we gotta like hang out and then.
It has been a long podcast for the first one.
Why don't we kind of wrap it up? I mean,
I think we've learned some things. I think we need to debrief on, like, we shouldn't be sitting out here on my balcony where I've got ambulances going by and fire trucks.
Why not? I mean, it's interesting. But interestingly, I'm inside.
It's like a Joe Rogan paradise, a total man cave.
Can you say Joe Rogan?
Yes. Yeah. Interestingly, I'm inside.
No, it's like a cave for sure.
Which is partly why I wanted to be in here. Ha ha ha. So yeah, I mean, this puts on display our personalities. Jared is a lover, full of love and kindness and giving, good to people. Craig is the strong, silent type until he's ready to put the kibosh on somebody or something, which he has done several times appropriately to Ramsey. Ramsey's a magician, obviously, rock star on MTV, and I'm the king. I'm the scholar. That's the name. So thank you guys for being here. Maybe we can dig into this Diary of a CEO episode and also completely answer Geraldine next time, who wanted to know, what do the forefathers find hot about women? Next time.
Okay. All right, Geraldine. We will
cover it. Thank you, Geraldine. Thank you guys for being here. This is the Fourfathers, FOUR, Fathers podcast. Thank you.